Well, the Valley's second largest city now has a new police chief. This is video of Dan Butler being sworn in last night. Butler is a 25-year veteran of the Mesa Police Department. He most recently served as an assistant chief, and joining us now is Mesa Police Chief Dan Butler. Are you getting used to the name?
I'm getting used
title?
to it. It's a little strange for sure.
Yeah.
You know, there's a couple times I pulled into the station parking lot and I parked in the Chiefs, and I'm thinking the former Chiefs parking spot.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, this is super surreal.
How was yesterday for you?
It was so incredibly humbling. The support, the attention, I'm really not used to that type of stuff. But that swearing in, you know, the moment for my family, how proud they were, all of the community members that came out, the men and women of the Mesa Police Department, they showed up in force.
Yeah.
And it was just, I can't describe it. It was such a surreal experience.
You know, when you look at your background and your resume, 25 years with one single police department.
Yeah.
And on top of that, that was your first police department ever. That truly is remarkable and rare in this day and age. And I find your background so interesting because you didn't always want to be a police officer.
No, I didn't.
How did that come about?
It was by chance. I was coming out of the military. I served in the United States Navy. And I had a son and I had a family, and I was like, hey, how am I going to support my family? My original goal was to go to ASU. All of my buddies were from high school were at ASU.
Yeah.
And one of my friends said to me, you know, you should be a police officer. Have you ever considered that? And it was like the furthest thing from my mind, but it got my wheels spinning. And I started researching, and I thought, you know, I'm gonna give it a shot. I knew somebody in Mesa, so I came out to Mesa. I randomly tested with the Mesa Police Department, and they picked me up. The rest is history.
And at one point, did you decide during that 25-year span that, you know what, I want to be the next chief?
I don't think that was ever anything that I set out to accomplish.
Really?
What it was for me is, in our organizations, if you really want to make a difference, you take a promotional exam. It expands your level of influence. It allows you to do a little bit more. And there were things that I saw early in my career. I thought, I think we can do that better. So I took the sergeant's test, and then I took the lieutenant's test. And really, when I hit commander, that was enough for me. I was like, I can accomplish everything that I want to accomplish for our organization, for our people. And I was super content.
Yeah.
I ended up becoming an assistant chief because the former police chief showed up to my house on a Friday and said, hey, Monday, you start as an assistant chief. And I was like, whoa, don't I get a say in this?
Yeah.
And then from there, like, it's just making a difference, serving in our community, and then having an opportunity to take over from a really incredible police chief in Ken Cost,
Yeah.
and go out there and continue on with the things that he started. Like, I couldn't pass that up.
Yeah, speaking of which, I mean, we know that Ken Cost, he served decades, right? 30 years?
30 years.
That is incredible as well.
Yeah.
And, you know, now that you are at the helm, what, if anything, would you do differently, and what are your priorities now?
Yeah, I love that you asked that. So, because I'm the chief, people always think it's a me thing, but it's really a we thing. And the we thing is, everybody in our organization has had a say in the direction that we're going. So our priorities that the executive team, that our command staff, that our officers, our professional staff has set out, we're going to continue that. And that is reducing violent crime, right? That is one of the pillars. That's really why we exist as a police department, making our streets safer for people driving through the community. Really, really important. Transparency, we absolutely have to be transparent. Our community is involved with us at every level. They sit at the table and they help us review critical incidents. They have a say in how we do our operations. In fact, we have what's called a citizen curriculum review team, where members from academia and members from our community groups come in, they look at what we're training, and they give us feedback and tell us, yeah, we think that's a good idea for you to train this in the coming year, but don't forget about this. So at every opportunity, the community is really involved with how we get better as a police department.
That is so important, to really involve the community. Well, Chief Dan Butler, I know you already seem so humble, and we wish you the very best. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And stay in touch. You're welcome on the show anytime.
Absolutely,
Talk about the
Tram.
initiatives
Yeah,
and the community
absolutely.
things that you're doing.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thank you. When we do too. Thank you for your service.
Thank you.